Welcome to Retirement GPS, navigated by Zynergy, your roadmap to a secure and confident retirement. Each week, we explore strategies, stories, and planning frameworks designed to help you navigate the complexities of life after work. From tax planning to investments, income strategies to risk management, our goal is to give you the clarity and confidence you need to make informed decisions. But retirement isn't just about the numbers. It's also about lifestyle, purpose, and peace of mind. We're here to guide you through both the financial details and the personal dimensions of this next chapter. Let's chart today's course.
Welcome to the Retirement GPS podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Zaharchek, certified financial planner and founder of Zynergy Retirement Planning.
And I am Zane Belsack, associate planner here at Zynergy. Today's episode is for everyone who feels like retirement is still far off in the distance, maybe 10, 15, or even 20 years away. But you're starting to wonder, what should I be doing now?
Exactly. This is Retirement Readiness Part 2. Last time in our podcast, we focused on those within 5 years of retirement. So those really close to retirement. What are they doing and what are the steps? But today, we want to talk to those early planners. And the sooner you start, the more power you give to your future self. Before we go any further, I want to lay out the reality of the stage, because here's what we see all the time. People delaying saving for retirement, it just doesn't feel urgent. You're focused on paying down your student loans, saving for a house, raising kids, or building your career. Retirement feels abstract, something you'll figure out later. But here's the thing. Those early years are your biggest asset. Time is your biggest ally. The money you save in your 20s and 30s doesn't just grow, it compounds. It explodes. It has decades to build momentum. That's why small contributions early on can do more for you than the large ones later. Think of retirement savings like planting a tree. You can plant a few seeds early and let them grow naturally over time, or you can try to grow an entire tree from scratch in your 50s. It's possible either way, but one approach is easier, has stronger roots, and gives you more shade when you need it.
That's such a great way to think about it, Ryan. I just want to share a quick story too. A couple weeks ago, we had a meeting with one of our members. Let's just call him Dave. Dave's been a client for years. He and his wife are well into retirement and doing great. But during our check-in, Dave said, "My son just got his first job out of college and wants to start investing. Can you talk to him?" So we jumped on a call, and his son, we'll call him Jake, is 23. And he said, "I know I should be doing something with my 401k. I'm just not sure what." And he also said, "I hear things online like a Roth, SEP IRA, and Simple Plan, but I have no idea what they mean. I just don't want to mess it up." I think that's such a common feeling for people in their 20s, 30s, and even 40s. You're trying to build good habits, but there are so many products, so many acronyms, and everyone online just seems to have a different opinion.
That's true, and the overload leads to paralysis. Analysis paralysis is what we call it. You feel like if you don't understand everything, you shouldn't start at all because you don't want to make a mistake. And that couldn't be further from the truth. You don't need to be an expert to begin. So today we're going to lay out a roadmap for what you should actually do if retirement is more than 10 years away.
So what's step one on that map?
It starts with something simple. If your employer offers a 401k, especially one with a match, you want to take full advantage of that match for sure. Contribute at least enough to get as much as you can out of your employer and their free money. It's the easiest return you'll ever receive. It's free money to your future self.
And I was just going to say, I've heard you say that before, that not taking the match is like really turning down a part of your salary.
Yeah, could you imagine if your employer came to you and said, "Hey, listen, we're going to give you a raise. The way you're going to get it is by saving in your 401k. And you said, "No, I'm not doing that." If your company says, "We're going to give you money," take advantage of it. Usually, they're going to match 50%, 100% on some percentage of your contributions. And that is effectively like a massive return right off the bat, supercharging your portfolio. It's one of the biggest missed opportunities we see early on in financial planning where young people just don't take advantage of the match.
And what about Roth versus traditional 401ks? I feel like that gets confusing for a lot of people.
Good question. If you're early on in your career and likely to be in lower tax brackets today, then you will be in retirement. The Roth 401k is almost always what's best. That means that you pay the taxes now, right? Really, there are two options, the Roth and the traditional 401k. By paying the taxes now, while your rates are low, we allow the money to grow completely tax-free. So the money goes in, you pay the taxes today. If I put in $5,000 today, and between now and the time I retire, it grows to 100, not only can I take that $100,000 out tax-free, but I only pay tax ever on 5,000. 95,000 grew completely tax-free to me. And that's really powerful with that explosion of compounding, especially when you're young and you've got time to let that compounding work.
So it seems like doing the match first and then Roth if you can. What usually comes after that?
Once you're capturing the full match and ideally using the Roth option in your 401k, if you don't have a Roth option, then you want to capture the full match with your pre-tax 401k and then look to Roth. After that, you have to look, where does our next dollar go? And for a lot of people, the next step is that Roth IRA. You can open your own personal Roth IRA as opposed to the Roth 401k, which is offered through your employer. It gives you tax-free growth, just like the Roth 401k, but you have a little more control over the investments because you can open it with any custodian. That could be a Fidelity, a Schwab, a TD Ameritrade, and then you can manage the account, purchase any investment out there in the investment world.
Okay, that actually answers my next question, which is if your company doesn't offer a 401k at all, I guess the starting point would be that Roth IRA.
Yeah, that's exactly it. The Roth IRA, if you're eligible, and you have to be eligible by earning under a certain income threshold. For most young people, they should come under that threshold. You can open one for yourself through any major brokerage and even just start small. Even if you put $25, $50, $100 a month and contribute on a regular basis. Remember, this is about time. This is about compounding. This is about consistency. Those are the things that are going to be the massive impact for your future. It's not going to be big dollars now. We don't care about big dollars now. We care about consistency and time.
What about those big savers? What are the contribution limits people should really keep in mind?
As of this year, which is 2025, you can contribute up to $7,000 in a Roth IRA if you're under 50. So we like Roth IRA for all age brackets. Even if you're in retirement, we're converting to Roth IRAs. So we love Roth IRAs. If you're over 50, you can contribute $8,000. They allow you to supercharge that Roth and put a little bit more in. And that's important because there are also income limits that you need to be mindful of. So if you earn too much, you may not be eligible to contribute directly. So check the IRS for your current year limits and your current income limits because they are subject to change.
I also wanted to ask about something that I've heard. It's called a backdoor Roth IRA. Where does that really come into play?
It's a little bit more of a complex strategy, which is probably outside of the scope of what we want to talk about today for this podcast. But today we're going to focus on the fundamentals. Maybe we'll actually do a full episode on a backdoor Roth IRA. For now, let's talk about making sure that we're getting as much money put away for our future as we can and getting that compounding ready. That's really the next layer of retirement readiness.
What would you suggest for someone who's self-employed, no employer, no 401k? What should they do?
Yeah, it's a great question. For self-employed individuals or people working for small businesses, there are a few fantastic options to allow you to save for your future. The most common ones we see are a SEP IRA, a solo 401k, or a simple IRA.
And that's okay. That's good to hear. So I think we should first begin with the SEP. So would you mind explaining the SEP to our viewers?
Sure. A SEP IRA is designed for self-employed people or small business owners with very few or no employees. It's easy to set up, easy to maintain, and allows you to contribute up to 25% of your net income. The great thing is it's all pre-tax, so you can deduct it now from your taxes in retirement. And for solo business owners, it can be really powerful because you can put a big chunk of money, 25% of your revenue, into that SEP plan.
And what would you say is a simple IRA? How would people navigate that?
The simple IRA is for small businesses with fewer than 100 employees. With the SEP, you are required to contribute whatever you contribute for yourself to your employees. In a simple IRA, it's not quite so black and white. Employees can contribute. The employer is required to either match contributions or make a flat 2% contribution to eligible employees. For somebody with more than one or two employees, the simple is probably the better fit. It's also easier to administer than a 401k, so you don't have to get into the complexities of the 401k and all the different regulations around that, but still helps your team save consistently.
Hey, and speaking of a 401k, who do you think that would be most utilized for?
The solo 401k is perfect for the self-employed that have no employees besides maybe a spouse. It lets you contribute both as an employer and an employee, so you can put away more than even a SEP or a simple. Plus, you have the option of contribute to a Roth, which you don't get with a SEP IRA.
I think the next question that we should be thinking about is how should someone choose between these options?
If you want simplicity and don't need Roth options, the SEP is great. SEP is a really simple plan. If you have employees and want to offer them something meaningful without paying the costs and the hassle of a 401k, then the simple IRA is probably the solid fit. But if you're a solo entrepreneur and you're just looking to save a lot and you also want to do it in Roth, which of course we encourage, then the solo 401k is really hard to beat.
So for me personally, automating my savings has been the difference between saying I'll do it and actually doing it.
Automation is really one of the most underrated tools in finance. Like time is probably the most important tool in finance, but automation is probably the second most important. When you automate your savings, you remove the willpower from the equation. You remove the market's down, I don't want to save this month, I want to wait till things get better, right? Which is one of the worst things ever said in the history of finance. Your money goes to the right place before you ever have a chance to spend it or think about it. It's just done. And many plans let you set up your contributions to auto increase each year, which is also really valuable. So if today you're saying, I'd love to save 15% because I think that's the right number for me, but I just can't afford to. I have too many expenses, too many liabilities that I've got to pay down first. Start with 5% and then set up an auto increase. So next year it goes to 6%. Year after it goes to 7%. And in very short order, you'll be at the 15% you want to be at without even thinking about it.
And those auto increases are really important to think about, especially for younger people. My next question is, what about someone who just got a raise or a promotion? How should they think about that extra income?
First, start by celebrating. Congratulations, a raise, promotion. That means you're doing a great job and you're moving in the right direction in your career. Use it as a trigger to increase your savings rate. If you were saving 10% of your income and you want to save the 15, like we talked about, as soon as you get a raise, bump it to 11 or 12, you'll still get the benefit of the raise in your take-home income. You'll still get more money, but a little bit of that money will also go towards saving for your future, and you'll start to move yourself in the direction of your 15%. Most people won't feel the difference in their paycheck really at all with 1 or 2%, but they'll absolutely feel it in the retirement years down the road, especially if they have time.
That really goes back to the set it and forget it. Bumping up that contribution rate and not thinking about it would really affect somebody. Let's go back to the idea of compounding, because I feel like that's the real light bulb moment for people when they finally see how powerful time can be.
When you start to look at the numbers, most people don't even understand the power of compounding. It's almost like looking at the vastness of the universe. You can't even fathom it until you start to really dive into it. And when you look at compounding, starting at 25 years old and saving just a small $300 a month, doesn't sound like very much, especially if you're doing it in a Roth. It can be life-changing. And before you know it, over 40 years, you're going to wake up and you're going to have $750,000 from simply putting away $300 a month. And imagine doing that in a Roth IRA. You have $750,000 that is not going to be taxed ever and will continue to grow tax-free as long as you are alive and you keep it in the Roth. There is no requirement of distributions. So somebody starting at 25, saving $300, $750,000 is really, really powerful. But let's say that you do have some liabilities and maybe you're not so great at savings and you decide you're going to be spending time with friends and you're not going to be putting the money away, and you wait. And you wake up at 35 and realize you're married and have a kid, and you know what? I need to start saving for retirement. And you make the same contribution with the same return. You have actually a little over $300,000 by the time you reach the same age, right? So simply that 10-year difference. You save for 30 years if you started at 35, but if you started at 25, you have more than double. Big, big difference. That's the power of compounding, and that's what's really, really important to emphasize to young people.
I was just going to say, that's a huge difference. And all you young people listening, this is definitely something to consider. It really drives home the idea that small, consistent actions now can change your life later.
Don't wait for the perfect moment. There never will be a perfect moment to save. Save what you can now. Set it up so it's automatic and forget about it. Just let it go, because you really will be happy. Even if it's $50 a month, build the habit. That's what the key is, the habit. You can always scale up as your life changes.
I think this has been really useful, especially to those not near retirement. Let's give people a game plan. If you're listening and you're 10, 20, 30, even 40 years away from retirement, what are 5 things you should be doing right now?
We're going to give you a starter checklist so you can start executing these things immediately. First thing, make sure that you're getting the full match of your 401k. Whether you have a Roth 401k or not, make sure you're taking advantage of the full match. Second, use the Roth 401k if you have it, right? That is really sort of the key. The Roth is the super powerful, supercharged, tax-efficient vehicle that's going to help you have that great retirement. Third, open a Roth IRA and automate monthly contributions. So even if you are saving in your 401k, even if you are saving in your Roth, open a Roth IRA as well. Get that moving. Start setting up a regular $20, $50, $100 a month contribution so that you can get something in there, get it growing. Set your contributions on auto increase every year if you have that option. Most 401ks do. Allows you to increase. Just increase it 1%. I promise you won't even notice it in your paycheck. Keep everything invested in a diversified portfolio. No market timing, no guessing. Make sure that you understand how your portfolio should be allocated properly, but keep it diversified, keep it in funds, and don't worry about the ups and downs of the market.
And what if you're self-employed, Ryan? What would you do then?
Look for a solo 401k or a SEP IRA. Choose the one that best fits your situation and get started. Again, perfection isn't the goal, right? It's not perfection, it's progress. So momentum is really what you want to focus on.
Any final advice for the really early savers out there?
I guess it's keep it simple, stay consistent, and really don't underestimate what your future self will thank you for. Saving for retirement is the long game, but you win it one automatic deposit at a time.
I love that. That's great. And if you're not sure where to begin or which plan is best, please reach out. This is what we're here for.
Be sure to read our blog as well. Coming into Focus, Why Retirement Planning Starts in Your 30s. Available now at ZynergyRetirement.com, and follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn at Synergy Retirement. Until next time, stay on course and keep planning.
Thank you for listening to Retirement GPS, navigated by Synergy. To explore today's topic further, visit our blog mile markers at synergyretirement.com/blog, where we offer detailed strategies, examples, and downloadable tools to support your retirement journey. Follow us on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook at Synergy Retirement Planning for weekly insights, checklists, and planning reminders. If you found this episode helpful, please subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and share it with someone planning for their future. Until next time, keep navigating toward a confident retirement. This podcast is for informational purposes only and is not intended as investment, legal, or tax advice. Listeners should consult their own financial, tax, and legal advisors before making any decisions. Synergy Retirement Planning is a registered investment advisor located in Red Bank, New Jersey.